In the news, this is called Save Our Ship of State. It is now all of us who must take responsibility for rescuing our ship of state from tragedy. And especially close to the 250th anniversary requires we all unite to save our country. Looking back at our history should enhance our resolve that on the positive front that we all must evolve. After the Constitutional Convention, one woman dared to ask Dr. Franklin what it meant. And he mentioned a task for future generations. We had a republic to keep. Implication, if we failed, a whirlwind we'd reap. There have been times, as history we peruse, it seemed by choice or neglect we were about to lose. That republic we were given by the founders, far from perfect, and the whole experiment could have run out for one defect. Panics and depressions, constant depredations, so many sick pollutions and corrupt administrations, Epstein-like depravities and environmental tragedies, jungle-esque pork-packed sleeves, laws passed only for the rich to please, oppression of protest, denial of equality, affectation of royalty, rewarding favor and not quality, wars that shook the country to its uppermost, especially a civil war fought from coast to coast, the country torn apart by one of its original sins, slavery to our shame, and one of our early linchpins. How the Union, so many times, was on the knife edge of failure, that horrible trial causing wounds beyond full cure. That remember the main imperialist travesty leading to our colonial empire of hypocrisy. That First World War, which we did not start but finished, but our League of Nations ball drop left our record blemished. Then the war against Nazism, noble but a close decision. Despite our bravery, luck helped so much in our mission. The Cold War, when the moral high ground we were wont to tout, many times it was Providence gave us from destruction in out. One Soviet political officer on a tensed-up submarine saved us all by voting no to firing a missile. Else, nuclear war we'd have seen. And one Lieutenant Colonel, Stanislav Petrov, a hero, stood against the automated system, or our population could be zero. There have been times of greater peril for our country dear. Now, for our moral saving, the path must be clear. We are less likely to suffer national catastrophe, but we now see great danger of moral depravity. The terrible decision made in November of 24, which has resulted in so much evil piling on more and more, one aspect of which is degrading our democracy, a general slide toward fascism, and a war on liberty. Despite the noble activism the best of our country brings, like the recent protests to shout out "No Kings," even so, as the tyrant seemed to only be able to fly a comic airplane and drop poop bombs. Well, he did try. Despite that show of moral force of which we can be proud, the autocrats don't care if we're clever or loud. The DOJ and the Supreme Court couldn't care less, and they only plan on causing more distress. The worst decision made by the extremes on immunity can only be described as lacking all credibility. And now, incredibly, and most recently, the Texas district rigging gets to stand, though racially gerrymandered, to use that term of art, intends to let representation be manipulated in part. Whether race is being placed in direct districts by intention to reduce their effectiveness through distension and dilution. A bald-faced plan for one-party rule. Luckily now, there's less chance that they can fool people who are seriously, even slightly, politically awake. And California has taken action for the country's sake. Now, some people may try to call this just political game, but let us focus now on a national shame. I refer, of course, to murder on the high seas and the total skullduggery of our leaders, if you please. That's a line from HMS Pinafore, some of you might know. Now, some say tomato, and some say tomato, and some say war crime, and I say murder ho. Wrap it up by saying that the president could hide, perhaps because of the extremes, but international law could get him, it most certainly seems.
Thank you very much.